we are back for panel 2. Now, there's been a lot of conversation about the it girl, but nobody knows what being the it girl really takes, okay? Now, our newest up-and-coming it girl, Miss AllyiahsFace, is here to talk to us about mastering content and creativity, along with our very own it boy, Mr. Armiel Chandler. No, it doesn't matter. You can be. And here you are, Armiel.
Thank you. Hey, y'all. Hey, girl.
Hi, Army.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Is this one working? Y'all can hear me?
Can y'all hear her? Y'all can hear her?
Okay, good.
Okay, so at MEFeater, we like to get into the smoke a little bit. So you ready for it?
I think we can
Okay.
see.
Well, at first, I want to ask, what does being an it girl mean to you?
You know, I think being an it girl is being you. I think that being an it girl is literally everything that you embody as a person, truly and authentically, that radiates. It makes people magnetized towards you. I think that sometimes people think an it girl is a certain thing, and everyone tries to be that certain thing, and then it literally, you doing the opposite of exactly what you was trying to do by being an it girl, because you're trying to be like somebody else. So I think being an it girl is being authentically yourself and presenting yourself and coming and showing up as you, and people are going to gravitate towards you. People are going to see that. They're going to radiate towards that. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, period. I agree. Yes. And I feel like you've paved your own way in this industry for yourself.
Oh, thank you.
And being your own it girl and doing everything that you need to do to foster like a community behind you. So I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to get a little bit into your journey as a content creator. Can you tell us about the moment you realized content creation was the path for you and what inspired you to start your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so, okay, I started content creation or, you know, this lane years ago, about 10 years ago on YouTube. So things are real different now. I don't really think people are tapping into YouTube like they used to. So my path into this was very different. I used to do makeup on campus. I went to FAMU, if there's any rattlers in the building. Okay, period. And HBCU alike, everybody. So I used to get up every morning at 6 in the morning and beat my face down. Okay, I'm talking to the gods, and go to class. And everybody was just like, who is this crazy girl with all this makeup on? I started doing makeup on campus, and people were like, oh, you should do tutorials. And I was like, okay. So I started doing tutorials. And so I started off as like a makeup girl, like strictly. And then one day, I just started talking, and people really liked that. So I kept talking, and people liked that, and I started vlogging, and it's just kind of rolled into what it is. So I didn't really ever have a moment where I was like, oh, this is my path. Because when I started, it was never a career choice for me. I was in pharmacy school. It was just something I really liked to do, and I didn't have any friends who did makeup.
So you was just having fun?
Exactly. I just was having fun and enjoyed it, and I wanted community. I wanted to connect with other girls who liked doing makeup too. So that's kind of what YouTube was for me 10 years ago, and then it literally just like snowballed into what it is today. Now with content creation and making money, because back then people wasn't getting rich off this stuff 10, 11 years ago. And if they was, we didn't know about it. You know what I mean? So it kind of just happened. Like, I didn't really pick it and say, I'm going to do this. Like, I was just doing something that I like to do on the side, and it just kind of turned into what it is now, so.
Yeah, let's clap it up for that. From campus to mogul.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I know being a content creator, a lot goes into it, right? But also being a person of color and a content creator is a lot. So what kind of personal challenges have you faced, like, in this career? Like, you say you've been doing this for about 10 years. Like, what challenges do you feel like you face, like, being a creator?
I mean, I think when it comes to creation, especially, at the end of the day, what you're doing is being perceived by people on a daily. And you want to be perceived in a positive note, to garner a following, to get the deals, to make the money. That's kind of the goal, right? And there's so many things that can set you back as a creator because of that, because people have biases, because people have just whatever they got going on at the end of the day and how they perceive things. So for me, early on in my career, before I had numbers that made people kind of put some respect on your name, I mean, people would call me all kinds of names and ghetto, this wouldn't work with me, you know, the whole shebang. And obviously, being a lighter skinned woman too, I can only imagine that times a million for if you're darker skinned on the platform. So it definitely is difficult being a person of color coming into this space because people act like they don't relate or appeal to us. They act like we're so different to them. So it's much more difficult, I think, to gather in people. But outside of that, I think the only difficult part for me as a content creator is just you do have so many opinions about everything that you do all day long, from the way you walk to the way you talk to the way you sleep. If they could see you sleep, they would have something to say about the way you sleep. So I think outside of that, though, everything is very positive. I think those are the only kind of like setbacks that really occurred. But at the end of the day, if you like what you do, you keep doing what you do. And those who like what you do, gonna come and see you do what you do. So.
Period. Yes. So, doing this for about over a decade, what was that first video for you? Because you say you've been doing this for fun, right? And it started off fun, which I think is cool because for a job that was, it started off as fun and it turned into a job. That's the dream for all of us. What was that first video for you that was like, oof, this kind of went viral?
So my very first ever like a viral moment was maybe 9 years ago. I did a makeup tutorial with black lipstick and it got like 400,000 views on YouTube in like the span of a week. And I got like 50,000 subscribers from it. It was so cool. That was my first moment ever just like going viral. I don't really think people would call that viral now, but back then that was I was like, oh snap, that's crazy. So that was my very first ever viral moment, and it was so exciting. I remember just being like, this many people care about. First of all, the makeup was ugly, so to this day I look back and I'm like, damn, that's what I was known for, but it's fine. But that was my first ever like viral moment.
Right, I love that. How do you maintain to continue to like capitalize and monetize off of like this industry, right? Like doing this for like over a decade, right? There's so many things that go into it. How are you able to like continue to monetize and capitalize off of that? Because like from YouTube, but you also have a big following on Instagram, and I know the girl is on TikTok. So it's like, how do you find a way to balance everything out?
So for me, I have a bad balance system. If there's any of my subscribers out here, you probably really mad at me right now because I ain't posted on YouTube in about a month. I see you shaking your head. Don't do that, don't do that. But balancing things, it is difficult, especially when we're talking about, since I'm a YouTuber, it's long form. And my videos are long. I mean like an hour to 2 hours long. Like they are long. So fitting that in while also trying to do the TikTok stuff and the Instagram and the stories, and they're gonna come up with something else in a week or two, and we're gonna have to do that too. Like trying to keep up with everything is very difficult, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all like it's not. I don't got no balance. I do it when I can, and I try to do what I can and do as much as I can. And then as far as the monetization is concerned, I have been doing this for so long and have built such a beautiful community that has allowed me so many opportunities in this industry. So obviously, your relationships with brands, paid partnerships is a big one that I think a lot of people focus on, especially with short form content. That's gonna be your main source, I think, of income. And then you also have affiliate. That's really good for my fashion girls in here. Y'all make people like your outfits, they gonna go buy your outfit and you link it and you get paid for that as well. So there's creators who do that strictly. That's kind of just an additive for me, but it's something that some people do solely. And then YouTube. I really preach for creators to get on YouTube because YouTube is one of the only platforms that is paying you for simply creating. I know TikTok has their own little version, but when it comes to short form, it's really hard to really make us some money unless you're getting millions of views, versus on YouTube, if you can make a video that's over 10 minutes, you can monetize that, and you know, as you build your community, you can get a cute check from that. So I really preach YouTube to creators because it is the only platform where you literally can get paid just from posting your content.
So I have a question. What does a creative process or routine look like for you on a daily basis?
Ooh. Okay, so I really don't have a routine. And I know that sounds bad, but my page is very me based, meaning I believe that my content does well because people really relate and resonate with me as a person, more so my makeup or my outfit or what I'm even doing that day. I think that we really have this like my homegirl on FaceTime kind of vibe. So I really just pick up the camera and go. Like truly, genuinely to the T. And I actually am trying to develop a creative process because I do kind of want to polish it up a little bit because to me it's a little rough around the edges. I'm like, damn, I've been doing this for 10 years and I'm still just picking it up and going. Like there needs to be something to this, but it's worked for me thus far. But yeah, I really don't have a routine, so I'm sorry.
All good, girl. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, child.
There we go.
So you've been able to carve out a unique space for yourself in a competitive industry. What advice would you give to aspiring creators on standing out in your own niche?
Absolutely being you. So, like I just said in my previous answer, I really feel like my success online or on my platform is solely from being me. I feel like people are more attached to me as a person than they am whatever the hell niche or this or that. So I would really say like I'm more personality branded, if that makes sense. So to me, if I had to give advice for someone who's looking at like my platform or something like that, is to be yourself. Because whatever it is that makes you you, there are so many people out there that are gonna really enjoy that. There's so many people that see that in you and like that, you know what I mean? So I know like with short form content, we're so convinced that you need to niche and do these trends and it's all about the trending sounds and the trending whatever. I just personally don't believe in that. I think that people are searching for authenticity in the people that they see online. I think that people are looking for people that they see every day, people just doing things, just someone that they find that kind of connection with that feels like a friend. So I would say just come online being authentically yourself and talking about and doing whatever it is that you like to do and want to do. And you're going to attract those who are for you and who are meant to be on your platform.
I love that. Yes. What role has authenticity played in helping you connect with your audience and build a loyal community? Like I know you was talking about earlier, like you're just a girl that picks up the camera and go, and it has worked for you. Like, what role has being authentic worked for you in your career thus far?
I think that it is 100% the sole leader of all my success, if I'm gonna be really honest with you. I have not, and this isn't me downing myself, but I haven't done nothing special. Like, I haven't invented nothing, I ain't done nothing that hasn't been done before. So my success is strictly just because people connect with me. I think it's a gift that I've been given. Everyone has a gift, whatever that may be. And for me, I yap, I never shut up, and people like it. And so we just vibe that way. And so coming on and talking about whatever is on my mind, however it's on my mind, and just being myself and showing my life to other people has connected us in a way that is unexplainable and brought me it literally changed my life. So, yeah.
I heard that. Yap it up on socials, y'all. Yap it up.
I definitely would suggest talking more. Talk to the people.
Yeah, because it's all about like connecting with your community and your audience. And if there's nothing for your audience to connect to, then what are they following? So that's kind of
Exactly.
like a gem if anybody that's an aspiring creator want to kind of like write down in their little
A
notes, a little
hundred
notebook.
percent.
Yeah.
And community is always gonna be your main desire. You should always want a community because with a strong and loyal community, like people who genuinely care about you online, I mean, you can conquer the world with that. You know what I mean? Because those people are with you for the long haul. They really enjoy you as a person. So.
At what point in your career did you feel confident enough to turn your creativity into a full-time business?
Way too soon. When I quit my job, let me tell y'all something.
Girl, me too.
I shouldn't have quit my job when I quit my job. I quit very, very early on. I'm talking like I was making maybe $400, $200, like, broke. I don't know what possessed me to do that, but I wanted to move to Houston with a friend of mine at the time. Okay. Okay, period. So I wanted to move to Houston. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I just did it. Like, I quit my job. I was working at Mac. I had dropped out of school, and I was like, I'm gonna just move to Houston. I literally had $400 to my name, and I just did it. And it worked out for me, luckily, but I would never, ever, ever advise that to anyone in this room because it just isn't. It worked out for me, thank God, but I'm gonna be honest with you, it usually don't. It usually don't. I don't know how it played the way that it did, but usually that would be a bad move. So I would say that a good point to think of when to go strictly like your creativity as your main source of income is when you feel like you can survive on that. If you got a good job that's paying your bills, you're gonna have some sleepless nights. Go to work and come home and make your content until your content gonna pay your bills. And if it's not, I don't suggest taking the risk and jumping into it. I know people will say that, but I cannot confidently and comfortably suggest that to anybody. I'm gonna stay at your job and be tired until it pays off. That's yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I know everybody wants to know about like partnerships and collaborations. How do you approach partnerships and collaborations while staying aligned with your creative vision?
Ooh, okay, I love this. So I have a manager and she's sitting right here and she knows she will send me stuff and I'll be like, no, all day long, pass, pass, pass. And my rule of thumb here is that I know when you're creating, it's exciting when someone wants to give you some money. Finally, it's like, yes, money. But remember that the people that are watching you and engaging with your content are worth so much more than that quick check for that product or whatever if you don't fully believe in it. If it's something you like, by all means, rep it hard. Take that money and go on with it. But when there's things that just don't align with you and you know they don't align with you, do not, I suggest not accepting that. Sometimes you have to close doors for other doors to open. So sometimes saying no to that money can seem really difficult, like, damn, I could really use that. Don't take it. That's my biggest advice. I had to start doing that with my platform. I used to do wigs and like extension reviews, heavy. I'm sure a lot of girls in here, we get the hair, we get the wigs, they pay us a cute little check, you review it, whatever. I had to close that door because it started to be too much and nobody else wanted to work with me because I was branded almost like a wig influencer, which is fine if that's what you're trying to do, but that wasn't really what I was doing. And it was scary because that was money that was coming in consistently for me. I knew I could do a little wig review and get some money, but I was like, I don't want to be doing wig reviews forever. You know what I mean? So I said no to my first wig deal. And I was like, let's see how this goes. And then so many things opened up for me after that, literally. So I always just say, if you know you don't like that product, don't accept it just for a check.
And also too, you know, your community that you build will also know if it's not valid for you to be doing that. Because they've been following you for a long time, so they know, like, that's not Aaliyah.
And my folks gonna call me out. They're gonna be like, now girl, you know what I mean? So that's another thing. Your audience knows you, and the minute that they feel like you selling them out for some quick money, you don't wanna do that. You don't wanna do that. And the long game is so much better than the short, quick game. Build that community, build that, because you can use that to pitch to brands later for more money because you got people who really rocking with you, believe in you, they buy what you say because they know you're not coming on here and just saying whatever for money, you know? So, yeah.
What advice do you have for content creators on monetizing their platforms without compromising their creative integrity?
So piggybacking off of exactly what we just said, everything we just said, do not let these people play with you. I have had so many brands like reach out to me, and when brands reach out to you, they're reaching out to you for a reason. They clearly see that whatever you do works. They like the way you present products, they like the way you speak to your audience, they like the way your audience responds to you. So sometimes brands try to give you like a script, and I mean like to the T. I don't talk like that. I've never said that word a day in my life. Why would I? No, I don't even know what that means, actually. So, that's a big one. Push back and don't be afraid to speak up for yourself when you're talking with these brands. And I know it can seem scary because it's like, well, they're hiring me. Like, I want them to be happy and want to work with me again. But they're hiring you for a reason, and you know your audience. You know how to sell to your audience as well. So, and that's why they're hiring you. So you kind of have to put your input in too. So don't allow yourself to slip out of, doing what you know works for the sake of them thinking they know. Because if they know, they could go produce it themselves, right? But you don't know. That's why you're coming over here. So that's a big one. And then, like I said, like the YouTubes, posting organic content that can also be monetized is really good on your platform as well. So.
Period. I love that. Don't sell them out for a quick fix, y'all. Don't do it. What's the biggest lesson you've learned through your journey as a content creator that you wish you had known earlier?
I think maybe the biggest lesson is maybe a little bit more discernment in what I shared online. When you're young, because like I said, I started 10 years ago, so I was like 19, 20. Just stupid, talking too much. And so you share some things that, not like shameful, I'm not ashamed of anything I've ever shared, but sometimes you realize not everything should be shared, maybe. Maybe we could have kept that one. So I think I would go back and tell younger self, you might not care right now about sharing this, but you in 6, 7, 8, who knows, you might have a kid. What if your kids see that? Or, So I think like I just would really preach that to myself and to everyone else. Really put a lot of thought into what you're sharing about yourself online, because you cannot take it back. Your digital footprint is real. Not to sound like your mama and your daddy, grandma, them, but the internet is forever. It really is. So be careful about what you share, and always make sure that that's how you want to be remembered, represented, and seen for years to come.
How do you define success as a creator, and what does the next step in your career look like?
Ooh, okay. I define success for myself as keeping my community happy. I feel like anything that comes higher from what I do is just a bonus. I feel like I've reached the pinnacles that I've wanted to. I've built an amazing community. Like, I really cannot rave enough about my followers and subscribers and the girls and the boys that watch me. I mean, these people have changed my life in ways unknown. They're so positive, so kind, and I just couldn't be, there's nothing I wanted more. Like I said, I started this for community. I really just wanted to have friends that liked what I liked too, So I have surpassed that times a million. So I feel like I have already reached my definition of success in this industry for myself. So what was the second part of the question again?
What does the next step in your career look like?
The next step.
Like, where do Aaliyah want to go next?
Aaliyah don't know. That's my problem. I really don't know, and me and my manager have this conversation all the time. When I tell you, I really am just picking up this camera and going, I really need to sit down, because I'm like, damn, okay, well, what do you want to do next? Literally, what do you want to do next? I know that I am not going to be a vlogger forever. It just, girl, I'm tired. I ain't going to be doing it forever. But I don't know where I want to go next with it. I don't know if I want to
you know what something. I love that throughout this whole conversation we'll be having, the very big word that you've been using is community. Mm-hmm. And you always made sure throughout your journey that you always made sure you kept your community with you. So I really love that.
Thank you.
For those that's just starting out, what's one practical tip for overcoming the fear of putting yourself out there? Because a lot of times people be seeing us with a little camera, they be with the tripod in the middle of the street, like, what are they doing? How are they doing that? Like, what tips do you have for people of overcoming their fear?
So I still be scared. I've been doing this for 10 years, and everybody who watch my videos now be like, y'all know I don't like vlogging in public. It's my first thing to say. I even be scared, but my fear is more out of, I don't want to be inconsiderate to those around me. So I really don't like, filming people who don't want to be filmed. Like, I be trying to be cutesy with it. But I think that people's biggest fear isn't really what I'm talking about, that fear. I think people's biggest fear is people in their town, people they went to school with, people they work with, their family. Girl, forget them. Everybody is doing something. You can't, if you worried about what everybody had to think about what you're trying to do, you would never do nothing. So if it's something that you want and it's something you want to do, you have to just put yourself out there. Whatever it is that you're trying to share, you have to believe that you want to share it so bad that you get beyond that, because someone's always going to have something to say. Someone's always going to judge you. You could literally be Jesus's disciple. Like, you could be perfect and someone's going to have something to say always. So you just got to get past all of that and just do what you like to do and do it how you want to do it and have fun with it.
I love that. Well, Leah, this conversation has been very cutesy, very it girl, and very demure. Before we go, do anybody want to ask like a question? Or I feel like we could open it up for like a Q&A real quick. Oh, I see a hand.
Should I give her? I can't hear you. Yeah.
Ooh, this
You look
outfit,
cute. I love
girl.
this.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Aliyah. I love you. This outfit inspired by you, by the way, the earring, everything. Yes. So my thing is like, I kind of have a little bit of imposter syndrome sometimes. I'm a celebrity chef. Like, I'm a manager for Equinox in Manhattan. I also cook for celebrities. But my thing is like, we sign NDA. Like, if I cook for LeBron James, I can take pictures with him. But I cook for a lot of celebrities, a lot of people. But sometimes I'm like, I want to pivot from this to being a content creator. But sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't want people to know if I cook for these people. And how do I face that fear and put myself out there?
I think, like, I know you mentioned an NDA with certain clients. I mean, as long as you're not violating your NDA, cook your food and tell people who you cooking it for. People gonna love to know, oh, literally, you didn't take any pictures. Like, you can't take pictures of the food. Okay, yeah. You don't need to take a picture with them because you don't really want to you also want to make sure that your business is built off of you. So if you're trying to gain a following, you don't want it to be, oh, I want to see what celebrity she take a picture with next. You want people to care about you. So what you're going to try to do is make your platform about you and your food. Who you're cooking it for is just an addition. You know what I mean? You don't want to focus, see, period, you can cook. So I would just, if I were you, I would just go in and start making my meals, filming me cooking my food. I don't know if you can film it while you're doing it for them, if you have to do it at home, however that works based on your NDAs and stuff. But make your food and you could tell your little story about who you cooked it for, what they like about it, what they don't like, you know, whatever, and give your recipes and people will be there. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't even focus on the celebrity aspect of it because the minute that you build your platform off of like additional people, it will only survive if the additional people are there. And if they're not there, now what? You know what I mean? So I wouldn't even focus on that. I would be cooking my food and telling people about my food.
Like, I get discouraged, I'm not gonna lie. YouTube is hard. You know, I hit 1,000 subscribers and I feel like it takes another 6 months to get like 20. Like, how do you keep on going? Because I know it's not easy especially now, it's very competitive.
Just like what you said, you had 1,000 and then you got 20. So it ain't even 1,000 people in this room. So could you imagine sitting down and talking to 1,000 people? Yeah, it's a lot of people. I think when you think about it like that, it makes you want to post for those people. Like, even if it's just 20 people, how often on a daily basis are you talking to 20 people at one time? Probably never, you know what I mean? So I think when you think about it from the perspective of, wow, 20 people care about what I got to say, what I'm doing, they're tapping in. You want to keep posting for those 20 people. That's a lot of people. And I know in the game of numbers and seeing people with millions and da-da-da, it doesn't seem like it, but it really is. Like, I've been on YouTube for 10 years. I don't have 1 million subscribers. I don't have 1 million followers on nothing, right? But my community is strong. And I think that that's really the takeaway here is that whether it's 1,000, 50, 20, 100, whatever, that's people. And that's people who care. They decided they want to subscribe, keep watching, tap in. You keep going for them if you're not going to keep going for yourself. Yeah.
And you building your community as well. Like she said, like she started doing it for fun. Like it was just her like, I'm just gonna put this on, and she built her community. So you're building your community as well.
And it takes time. The same way that you can blow up overnight, they forget about them so soon. Think about how many people just cycle through. It's like, damn, what happened to so-and-so? You know what I mean? So building something over time isn't a bad thing. Yeah.
Thank you, girl.
Thank you for your question.
All right, let's do 2 more questions. Let's see a lot of fly people. Anybody got a question? Don't make me point you out. Oh, I see somebody. I see 2 people. Come on. Oh, the fashion is just here
so
today.
Pretty.
First things first, I love you, my Gemini sister. Nice to meet you as well. So my question to you is, at what point did you make the decision to not clap back, to ignore the negative comments? Because I have under 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. So when somebody comments something crazy, I'm sorry, I gotta respond. You said what? So it's just like, at what point do you ignore the negativity? Yes, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I feel you. I just made a joke about this. I'm like, people are so lucky that this is not 2016, Aaliyah. We are in a different era. I think it really just came with age. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm old now. I don't care. Like, it's really true what they say. Like, the older you get, the less you care. You really become yourself. I don't care. And I'm not saying a comment won't bother you. You'll read a comment and be like, girl, what? But enough for me to type something out back to you? Crazy. No, never. Couldn't get it. And I think another thing is, you'll start to realize after being online for so much time, people really just want to get under your skin. That response that you type up, it can be right. You can be right to the 9s down 10. Them folks don't like you. They never gonna like you. You can't convince them not to like you. And all they gonna do with that comment is go, got him mad. And they're gonna keep commenting. And they're gonna hope that you keep writing. They love it. They're feeding from it. Like, as much as they dislike you, they really like you. They are on you heavy, you know what I mean? And I don't have time for that. It's too many people saying such nice things to me for me to like really spend time out of my day to like go back and forth with you. Nah, no. And I also love a good delete, block, bye. Go make your own channel. Go make your own video. You can go talk about it over there. But I also don't even let people do that on my platform. I don't, and I know people talk about that, like, oh, she be deleting comments, and do, and will. So if you want to go make your own video. This mine, you know what I mean? So I would say, don't let people get you out of character or just make you angry. And again, it's a learned thing, because, oh baby, I used to be, this mouth was bad. But over time and just being online, I said, oh, I can't keep doing this with folks. So that's my advice.
Thank you.
We have time for one more question. Come on, girl.
Hi.
Another outfit, another banger, period.
Love you, as all the others have said. So I'm Dr. Natalie King, and I'm a neuroscientist. And I just started a hair care brand. Thanks, sweetie. That's not the question. And I just started a hair care brand, and so it's called Foray. My question to you is, you mentioned that you were in pharmacy school first, or you're going towards that degree. How did you sort of get over that hump? Because of course, as black and brown women, a lot of the time we're one of the only in a space, especially when it comes to STEM fields. And so your family, your friends, your community are like, what do you mean you're dropping out? Or what do you mean you're, choosing something different from what is seen as, sustainable for us? And so how did you sort of get over it? Maybe what people were saying or your family was saying when you sort of switched to content creation?
So this is a really interesting topic. So this is gonna be a bit personal, but I don't mind, I've shared this story before. I was going to school for my dad's approval strictly. I wanted to make my daddy happy. So I went to school, I was on a full ride. I went to FAMU, so as far as like my peers and everything, everyone looked like me. So I think that that was probably the more hard side, because the whole reason that I dropped out of school and started doing what I wanted to do is because me and my daddy fell out for a couple of years. And I said, well, I ain't gotta do this no more then, because we not talking. So I dropped out of school because we fell out, and it ended up working out for me. We good now, y'all. Me and my daddy like this. But at the time, that's the story. That's what happened. So I dropped out, and I didn't care. That was the only man's approval that I gave a crap about. And we was falling out, so I said, to hell with all of this. I'm gonna do whatever I want, and I don't care I really didn't care who had anything to say about it. You know what I mean? So my story is a bit unique and a bit different, because I kind of was not forced into not caring what anybody felt, but kinda. So I can understand, I wouldn't suggest dropping out of school to anybody else. I'm not gonna say I regret it, I don't, because given this opportunity, I wouldn't be a pharmacist. But I definitely would say if you are in school for good reasons, not for somebody else like I was, stay in it and do it and finish it. It is such an amazing accomplishment to have. I'm sure you know. So, but yeah, that's how I got over that. Like, I truly just didn't care from the jump. So, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you
you're
so
welcome.
much.
Thank you.
Y'all make sure y'all follow her brand.
Yes.
Y'all, this has been so fun.
Thank you.
I think it's that time. I think we are
Are we done?
girl.
Okay. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you guys. It was such a pleasure.